The party has to grow beyond its comfort zone.
Chairman Steele, you're running again to lead the GOP.
Yeah.
What grade would you give, letter grade, would you give yourself in for the last 2 years?
I'd probably say a solid B for a number of reasons. One, you know, like anything, there's a learning curve, and you know, early on, you sort of adjusting to the size of the microphone that you have, and how your words resonate with every Republican out there, not just one group or one community of people. There was a little bit of learning curve time there. But I think once we put together the team and we sort of focused on the agenda ahead of us, and certainly jumping in, we had special elections right out of the box. We had New Jersey, Virginia governor's races coming up that fall. We got down to work, and it was redefining the landscape. And I think the party was at a point where that needed to happen. And as I look to going into 2012 and the upcoming election cycle, there's still more definition that needs to be done, and I think there's still more work that needs to be done, and I'm not one to quit halfway. And I believe it's important that we continue. Now, there's been a lot of noise around my chairmanship, but that has not distracted me from the main mission that was tasked to me by the leadership of the party, and that is to raise money and win elections.
What would you have done differently, knowing what you know now?
You know, I probably would have spent a little bit more time, to be very honest, sort of cultivating stronger ties to the establishment here in town, so that they understood me and my mindset and how I looked at the body politic in a very changing world, coming off of the losses of '06 and '08, where we had everything and then lost it, and how, you know, as a grassroots activist, I perceive that, and how the people outside of Washington perceive that. And also getting to understand what their thinking was on a number of these issues, and strategies for moving into this new terrain, so that we would do it more together than I think has been seen as more out of sync with the establishment in Washington versus the grassroots outside of Washington. I see the chairmanship as a way of kind of being that bridge, and, you know, between those two worlds, which are vastly different. But I think it's an important bridge and an important link. So I probably would spend a little bit more time, instead of hitting the road and going out into the country almost immediately after becoming chairman. Probably spent a little bit more time here in Washington, sort of talking and getting to know where people are. I mean, it's not like we didn't talk, but it was one of those things where you know, you hit and you go, and you got the staffs talking at a certain level. I think I probably would do that a little bit differently in a second term. Probably would spend a little bit more time, particularly as we get ready for presidential, doing that.
Were you given the support from day one by some members of the Republican Party, or did it seem like there were individuals who were gunning for your job as soon as you took leadership?
I think, you know, in all fairness and honesty, if people really want to be honest about it, from the moment I assumed the gavel of the RNC, I was under the scrutiny and the attack in some cases of some of the people who lost, who supported individuals who lost, and the establishment as a whole. Look, this is a big prize for someone to control. There are a lot of contracts, there are a lot of vendors, there's a lot of money. I came in with an approach that said we want to break up the old guard system, which is what the members wanted. This wasn't Michael Steele just saying, oh, just do this because. And talking to 168 members of the RNC, that's what they wanted. They were tired of the cliques and the clannishness that had begun to grow up within the RNC, where if, you know, you go to a state to do a project, you have to use the RNC approved vendor. Well, what about their vendors? What about the guys they've built relationships? So we turned that system around, and that tweaked some people the wrong way. But look, the party has to grow beyond its comfort zone, whether it's internally in terms of its infrastructure and how it operates, as well as externally in how it reaches out to people and says, this is who we are, what we believe, and we want you to be a part of this.